Alright guys, so BMW N57 3-litre diesel 6-cylinder. We've got a very small boost leak on the outlet of the intercooler hose. I have already started sort of pulling it apart. I just sort of wanted to capture this because it's probably going to be a lot of you. This is probably the more accessible job. I have got the new O-ring seal. You got to bear in mind, like this car's on 100,000 miles, so our O-rings and all those rubber things that are supposed to seal airtight in there are inevitably going to start perishing and, you know, losing like their ability to perform what they're supposed to. So this is the N57. I kind of haven't really taken anything off of the engine beside that, but there's sort of your main focus. So that's the inlet hose. Okay, you can see the two, like the hen clip. This is a BMW hen clip with these two wires, and you need to just pry the wires open, pull the pipe in toward like your intake, pull it in, unclip the wires, and then like pull it off. Here, what I mean by that is that if you pry these clips up, okay, you see there, they naturally will sit on that black clip once they're high enough. Oh, without breaking them. Well, let's get in. So you detension the system first, but I don't know if you guys can see, if I can get in there. If you can see that, so that's just like within the course of this last week, like it's just been misting ever so slightly down that tube. So we are now going to try and just replace that O-ring on the inside. Again, I don't know if you can actually see the O-ring, but it is literally that first black piece that you can see. That's the rubber O-ring there that we are going to replace. So we're going to pull the old one out, put a new one in, and connect it back up. Hopefully that will stop the leaking. So it's not really a massive thing, but yeah, you obviously want to seal up any boost leaks you can, and so far this is the only one I can actually see on the car. So let's see. I did use a flat screwdriver just to pull the hen clip apart and then just unattach it basically. We're going to just have to get this new O-ring. This is from Dark Side Developments. We're just going to literally have to get some clean engine oil on there and then make sure I put it in the exact same way as the other one comes out. So that's something you mustn't forget when you're doing these sort of jobs, guys. Like, remember what goes where, because you're going to need it. So I'm just going to do a little clean up, I think, just of where the previous mess was, and then we'll pretty much just put the new O-ring in and hope for the best. So this is the new seal that's going in, and a little bit of cardboard bits on there, so I'm just going to give this a clean out, a little clean, and then we'll get some engine oil doused on there and then get it stuck back in. Hopefully it's as simple as literally just plugging it in, but you never know, so we'll find out. We'll just give it a little clean, get some engine oil on there. Some very thin pliers that I'm just going to use to probe the O-ring out, the old O-ring. It's quite an awkward angle there, I'm not going to lie. Alright, so the new O-ring has been established. If you've never fitted an O-ring before, it's quite difficult and stressful because you put it in initially and you're like, flip, how is this actually going to fit within the circumference that they give you? But it's obviously meant to be like a really cushy fit, so just persist with it. It will go back in where the other one came from, okay, as long as you got the correct fitting. But that is in there. I think that's the easier part, even though that was quite tough. The hardest part is going to be getting this hose back on, because you've got to push the hose down toward the engine bay to be able to get clearance. See if I can show you. It's really like not easy, but we need to clear that black housing first whilst still keeping the clips open so that it can slide back on. So it's going to be really challenging, and I also don't even think I can show you guys, but essentially you can see the hose here, okay, hose over there, that needs to go onto this black piece next to it, so you have to push this hose down quite a bit. Alrighty guys, so that was quite hard to try and show you at the same time, but I've rehoused it. I just rehoused it and now I've left it. I've had to reopen these clips again, so see how it's sitting. okay, on that black clip. So you got to just use a screwdriver, just gently pry them open. Now the system should be open for me enough to pull it back onto the housing properly and clip it in place. So it's quite finicky. You can see there the housing just under there. So both clips on both sides elevated, and I'm going to just slide that onto the housing and hopefully it all just clicks into place. That's the goal. Let's see. Moment of truth this is. Trying to get both hands on. It has just slid straight on. The clips haven't automatically gone back down though, so this is where, not being a BMW mechanic, you sort of question yourself a little bit, because you're like, were they supposed to automatically go down, or do I need to re-clip them back in? Wow. For any BMW mechanics watching this, they're probably cringing while they're watching me struggle away with the hand clip. So I'm so glad I asked that question, and I quickly googled it because it just didn't look right. It wasn't sitting well. And as far as I was aware, like, it's supposed to naturally clip into place, those hand clips, and they are. So if you're putting that on and you're trying to establish it onto position, they should naturally clip straight away once they hit the right groove on the housing. So they are now. They weren't when I showed you initially, but they are now flush on both ends. So now that hose should be sitting as flush as it came from the factory. Okay, I've cleaned up the pipe a bit so I can tell if there's any new leaks coming through, but that should be the job finished now. So yeah, just make sure when you're rehousing anything to do with BMW and these hand clips. This is my first time ever using these hand clips, so it's all new to me, but that's why I love doing this sort of stuff, because you learn so much along the way. But yes, just make sure those hand clips, both sides, clip in just as much as one another, because this top one wasn't quite flush when I had closed it manually myself. I thought that didn't feel right at all, and then I just literally opened them both up again, wiggled the pipe down like a millimeter, and they both went straight into place. So yeah, just make sure when you're rehousing anything to do with those clips, they will automatically, naturally clip in together. So that is it. Inlet, what am I talking about? Intercooler outlet. I think if they call it hot side, as much as I'm learning about intercoolers and stuff, so hot side of the car, or right hand side, sorry, passenger side. Are easier to do intercooler, because I know there's one down that side where it attaches to the intercooler, which is much harder to get to. I was just very fortunate towards this one that I can actually replace myself. Hopefully I've done it properly, but there you go, guys. Smooth as a kitten. Look at that. I always say to myself, imagine just having like a beautiful big 3-litre engine. Whee! She's running so smooth, smoother than it ever has. Since I got this car, I've had so many issues with it, but it's neglect. It's because people neglect it. I obviously didn't buy it knowing I was going to walk into all these issues, but I was literally had like loads of oil leaks from everywhere you can think of. Like, rocker cover was cracked. I had the rocker cover seal gaskets that were gone. Redid the injectors, as in the injector seals, obviously. Taken that inlet manifold off about like 300 times to do the swirl flaps. But now we're finally coming together with this. We did do like a remap, not necessarily for performance and power, which you will get a bit more of, but more so just to like let the car breathe properly, just in terms of like air to fuel injection ratio. Obviously removing the swirl flaps, you're going to change that onto. So there are a few other bits which I'm not going to mention that I have done, but yes, there we go, guys. There is the turbo hose done.
we're going to find out really when we're on the motorway, like if something goes wrong, because it's when it's more under pressure and under like that, you know, that flow of the engine. That's when you really see whether it's actually working or not. And if I've clipped it back on properly, you're not going to see any leaking now. I can show you for all you like, you know what I mean, but you're not going to see any physical leaking. It's just more to see that like I put it on properly, because if it fell off now, I'd rather know now than on the motorway. But yeah, super smooth. This car's changed so much since I got it 3 months ago, and all of it's predominantly been a lot of my work, which is one of the best feelings, which is why I love doing that. I love it, and I try to capture it along the way as much as I can. Yeah, we'll give it a go, we'll give it a drive and see how it usually over like 2000 RPM is when I notice it the most, in terms of like that leaking through the, I can see it when I park and I look there. So we'll do a little drive and then just make sure it's all buttoned up properly. Please make sure to hit a like and a subscribe. There will be loads more BMW content coming soon. Yeah, buddy.